Good morning, João. I'm André, Porto's owner and co-founder. Today I'm going to show you Porto through history, architecture, culture, and gastronomy as well. But before I do any of that, tell me a little bit about you.
I'm João Barroso. I am from Coreflux, which is a software company that does the easiest way for you to connect any kind of machine or data pipeline that you may need. That's where I come from.
Perfect. Then I'm going to use Porto's many layers to show you a little bit of our history, architecture, and in the process, show you some unique places as well.
Then I'll do my best to connect each one of those to something that Coreflux built.
Perfect.
Yeah?
A nossa.
A nossa.
João, welcome to Cervejaria O Caçula. They have a partnership with Fábrica da Picaria, so they have a lot of craft beer made just for this place. But just like any beer place in Porto, there's something that is quite usual that we eat, a francesinha. And francesinha has to be like this, at a counter with some beer to go along, and it's a 2,500 calorie gut bomb. In between two layers of bread, you get a grilled tenderloin steak, fresh sausage, a linguiça, a spicy sausage, some ham, some cheese, everything covered with some melted cheese, hot gravy sauce, and a fried egg on top. But for me to better explain, I'm gonna bring one to the table. Sounds good?
You're speaking my language.
Perfect. Uma francesinha, por favor. So, João, this is a proper francesinha, and to be called a francesinha, it definitely needs all of the layers that we can see here. And take one out, and it's not a francesinha.
You know what this reminds me of? The Coreflux Hub 2.0. It has lots of layers and they only work because they are stacked. Let me send this to Isaac, literally.
Wait, what is this for? Something is missing. Well, it smells good, but okay. Hub 2.0. If you are someone that usually relies on a multitude of tools, a different set of tools to automate your systems or visualize data, probably this product is for you. We worked on and decided to build something to centralize and unify all of those necessities and solutions in one unique place. As you can see, it looks much like an OS where you can have different products, different widgets. You have it your own way. It depends on your necessities. Just like francesinha, you can build your own recipe. Here, you can do the same depending on the way you work. One of the things that we always kept in mind was to create something that is easy to use and it's somehow low code. Let's start by looking at the data viewer. We used to rely on MQTT Explorer, so do you, I believe, but we felt like something was missing. There was some features that weren't there and we could use, and also the overall aspect of the platform seemed a bit outdated. So we decided to make it more accessible and appealing and the navigation to be more easy to use. You can add different topics by double-clicking, but we decided to implement a system of drag and drop. So, for example, if I want to see what's going on this pump ID, I can literally just drag and drop it to the determined area and visualize my data. You might have noticed that there's not a line of code there, it's a map. That's because we also decided that we want to see and process our data in different ways. Well, we are humans and we don't have actually to just look at lines of code. So it's easier to understand our data looking at, in this case, a map or other times a graph. So let me just grab another example. If I just scroll and go to these, for example, for this topic of prediction, I'll double click it this time just to be different. You can see here that, boom, we have graphs for our data. We don't need to look at lines of code. so it's easier to understand what is going on. Other thing that we had an eye on was to use color to help you identify these different elements, because as you can see, I might end up with different topics on this data viewer. For now, I have like 5. It will be quite difficult to distinguish them. Not this time, because we know that one is orange, one is yellow, and we can associate these different values on the UNS tree and the data viewer. This same approach that we followed and I shown you on the data viewer, either the UI aspect of it or even the navigation drag and drop thing, we also brought that to the other apps and other products of Hub 2.0. Either if you go into, for example, the connections, where you have the routes and you can configure and manage the different source of data that you're using to your system. And again, we are always using color and this modular approach to make it easier to comprehend what is happening. For example, we can see like on this route that something is wrong because, well, it's orange, not green. If we look, for example, on the lot editor, here you can see your automation, you can see the different actions and models and assets that you're using to automate your system, always following the same approach. But it looks like a mess, you have a lot of windows opened. It's fine because you can use our tile manager, or even just like snap the windows on the side and they will be organized. Or if you want just set this for later, you can use the tile manager, as I said, and use an horizontal or a vertical view of it, or even grid. You know, there you go. You can explore it. There's a lot of opportunities here. All right, so I understand this is a lot of stuff, but you might be overwhelmed with these, especially if you are a non-technical person and this doesn't say much to you. But from the beginning, we decided that we also wanted to create a system that can help those. Myself, I cannot really code a full automation unless I use one of our apps, which is the AI assistant. So this is something that is placed for profile that is someone that want to use an approach of low code, and you just might ask the agent what you want, what type of automation you want, just set your routes, and there you go. All right, but you might ask, once you build your automation through the AI assistant, how can you see it? Maybe you're not comfortable to look at our data viewer. And there's where it comes another app called Dashboards. Well, it says what it is. It's dashboards, it's visualizations, it's a way to see what's happening through graphs and through a simple logic, and have a more, let's say, panoramic view of your system. This is an overview of 2.0, and I'm really proud how it looks and how easy it is to use. And you can customize it as we saw. You can organize the panels in different ways. You can drag and drop things to different places, and you can even personalize it. Yes, this is something that I'm really proud of. You can personalize it with themes. If you're not happy with how your background looks, you can choose from other. For example, the monolith is my favorite one. We'll have more as time goes by. We are constantly improving these features. Now, I'm having my own francesinha.
That's a whole meal.
That's a fantastic meal.
Yeah. I need to walk this off a bit.
Perfect, because I have the perfect location for us to visit now. I'm gonna take you to one architectural item of Porto, one of the many bridges that connect us to Gaia. Shall we?
Yeah, you know what this reminds me of?
No spoilers, let's go. João, Welcome to Luís I Bridge, one of the many bridges that connect Porto with the southbound and with Gaia, the many port wine cellars. These bridges have evolved with the city as well, and actually there's one being built just right now, allowing us to grow even more and faster as well, always connecting us.
Oh, thank you. You know what this reminds me of? The Coreflux routes. They basically all have the same job, getting data from one point to the other, but they work with completely different protocols. Modbus, OPC UA, AI, databases, even REST. Different engineering, different kinds of traffic, but they all have the same goal. And none other than the guy who built most of them to tell you about it. Maybe this one he can drive.
Very good one also. At least this one I can drive. So, routes. Let me start connecting the dots. The routes are the bridge that brings the connection from devices into the broker. Let me start showing you. This is our routes manager. This is where we have all the different kinds of bridges that brings the connections from devices to the broker. We have here PLC connections, video streams, audio streams, MCP and AI agents, API and REST, MQTT and DB. Now let me start showing you how it works. We have here the routes manager. Clicking here, we can create one from scratch that is .com or template. We'll use this. We'll just paste my example of a Modbus route that will connect to my device. I click it, I create it, okay? And now we will go here into this topic, and here is the data from the PLC. In a couple of seconds, the PLC is connected to my broker. I will show you one more example of what we can do with the routes. Now, I will start by creating a new one, an AI agent route, in the same way as I did before, and now the broker is able to think and talk using an AI agent. So I will go to our data viewer, and we have a topic where we are able to do a request to the agent. So in this case, I have a doubt. I don't know how much routes I have in my broker. So I will ask him to show me all the routes that I have. To know the routes that are on my broker. I will do the request. Now it's doing his thing of thinking. We'll wait a couple of seconds. And here we have the response from the agent. And as you can see, I have these routes. I have what does it do and what are the types. We have a whole world of examples that we can do with the routes. We will show you that in another video. I hope you understand by showing you this that the broker and the routes together are the fundamental layers of Coreflux. Now, I will be taking this with me.
So João, this is Luís I Bridge, allowing the connection of people, cars, buses, and most recently, metro as well.
Oh, I see. That sounds like different languages all together all at once.
Here it is.
You know what that reminds me of?
Stop. I have some energy in store for us. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Let's go. João, let me welcome you to SO Coffee Roasters. In my opinion, one of the best coffee roasters in Portugal. Not only by the coffee beans and roasted back there, as they serve some of the best coffee beverages in Portugal. And because of such, Julia, dois cafés, por favor. You know that at this Porto we get people from around the world. Asking coffee has a lot of different ways to do it. Even in Portugal. In Porto we ask for a cimbalino, and in Lisboa, bica. And beer as well. Here we say fino, and in Lisboa they say Imperial. Different words, same things, but someone in the middle has to know it all.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? Connected systems. They're a mess. Like machines speak Modbus, cars speak CAN, payment systems have their own protocols. Every different technology has its own dialect. Eventually, you'll find one that speaks all of them. That's Language of Things from Coreflux. And I know a guy who runs on coffee probably more than you. He's been all over the world, he's seen every different protocol, he's tired of translating them. So he made his own. He has coffee in his blood. I'm gonna give him this.
Story of my life, always picking up the pieces. But this actually represents how companies have their own data. They think they have everything in one silo, but in the end, they have broken pieces of information. So companies have this information in pieces. So they are like this piece of this cup. So silos like machines, software, manufacturing execution systems, and even engines that are doing IoT connectivity. But in the end, everyone ends up creating another piece of the problem and not a real solution. What was the solution for that? We thought about it a lot, and actually it was already there. So even on the question, you can say that I was actually answering, because LOT, the language of things, was the thing that we found out that was able to translate everything. And that idea came to us when I was actually attending a class on the Faculdade de Letras in Porto, which they study language. And it was about Chomsky and the way that linguistic actually works. So we look at that into a perspective of an engineer, that a language was the thing that could actually aggregate everything into one common ground. Then instead of having multiple pieces, we had a full cup, one cup. And how does this work? Let's dive in. First thing, let me open the base of our system, the first part, which is something that we wanted to integrate the language with humans. So we needed to have documentation. That is the first thing that was quite important. So a system, a very well documented system, it's something that you're able to maintain. And there are 4 pillars that we needed to actually fix, that usually an engine does. There needs to be a response to any given event of a data. We call it an action. Something needs to conform to a schema or a shape, we call it a model. And something needs to travel between systems, we need to connect devices, we call it a route. And if we need to control and secure and control the access of something, we call it a rule. So all those 4 components are written within the document, where we have normal tests, which usually is Markdown, and also our lot. But you can find the same within our hub. So an action, it's something that it's triggering an event. It can work by time, on every 60 seconds, or by having a different topic that triggers that. A model is something that acts as a schema. So you can imagine this as a row or a definition of a table or a JSON file, something that transforms into one single message. And a rule, it's something that either allows or denies access to a given command or even a topic publication. And we also have the routes. And in this case, I have something that connects from MQTT broker to another MQTT broker. In my back, I have a couple of devices that we are able to have, other types of routes. And in this case, we have them here that we are able to add. So we can add OT devices, databases, and so on. So imagine you have a plant with 3 different machines, and all of them have different devices. And how can we, let's say, put this together in order to have something that is able to calculate, for instance, OEE, or even the number of parts that are produced? So have a small demo here of the full system and the way we usually work with language of things. So you are able to describe the full system, and you have, let's say, messages that are and actions that are standardized. So you kind of have something that is able to use the wildcards to define an action for, let's say, any given machine. So you can look at this as almost as a full application that you are able to upload. So looking at this route that we have here, it's all the machine signals that we are right now using. And on the other cases, I have OPC UA. So I'm going to run them all. Actually, I'm going to check out on the broker what we currently have. And now we have everything new. So this means that we have this code up and running, and we can even see, if we go to factory injector, we can even see the signals arriving and the parts going into the broker. And not only that, but also the calculations that we are doing, so the actions that we are running. I'm not going to go into detail what is happening, but the same dashboard right now, it's working because data is being transformed by the broker itself, and the calculations of the machine are based on the real scenarios that the machines have. So you can see the cycle time growing, and also the number of parts that the machine is producing, because the broker is doing the calculations because it has a full system internally. So instead of having machines that are disconnected to a centralized, like a single source of truth, we have something that is connecting everything and also aggregating and transforming all the information. So you end up having one system running, and the thing that really puts everything into one place, it's the language itself. So your events are worked by the actions, the data is aggregated using models. You also have the rules to control what is happening, and at the same time you're able to describe everything by using the routes, and everything is being packed by the language of things. So by doing this, we are translating from things to one system that everything is able to talk to each other, let's say. And that's the power of language of things. So I'm off, going to glue this cup in the basement. See ya.
You know, I love Hugo's philosophy about coffee, but the guy sleeps for 4 hours, I sleep for 8. So he's probably right. He writes the checks anyway. Yeah, but that's actual coffee, man.
It's really good coffee.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of?
No more spoilers. I'm not gonna take you to the best view of Porto from Porto. Let's go.
Yeah.
João, let me welcome you to Vitória. This is my favorite view of Porto from Porto. And from here, we can see everything that is relevant in the city. Up there, the cathedral, where Porto was born over 900 years ago. Then, right inside of it, that's the bishop's house. From there to the river, and from where we're standing to the river, right here, this is Ribeira, the World Heritage Site by UNESCO. And across the river, Gaia, with all of the port wine cellars. So this is the true vantage point here in Porto.
This is absolutely beautiful. And you know what this reminds me of? The Coreflux data viewer. Most data systems have thousands of topics running through a broker, and many engineers have trouble seeing at least some of them. So we needed to build our own vantage point, just like this. Back at the office, we have a guy we call the Octopus because he has a tentacle in each task that the company runs, and he loves photography. So let's give him this and he'll explain more.
Thank you, Barroso. I didn't have this one in my collection. Data viewer, why? The idea is for everyone to understand what's happening on the broker, what type of data is going through, what type of information they can get from it, and see which type of topics and data types that you want, and that's going through there. Let's explore it to understand a little bit more. To open Data Viewer, you go to the dock, and then second icon. We have already our data viewer and topic tree that it's running on the broker. If you open a topic, a specific one, for example, factory injector, we see that we have 3 machines and we can see different type of data. For example, you have analog outputs, numeric numbers, inputs, for example, a counter of wood parts, and we can see already the time frame, what happened on the broker. If you press play, you can see the incremental counter. Now, let's see another type of data, coordinates. We have here also some boats on the ocean. Let's open one. Okay, this is running. Let's see where it is. Okay, near France. And if you press play, we can see already the different coordinates of it. And one last thing that I want to show, it's the capability of streaming video and image. On image, we have just a live camera being captured frame by frame. Also, we are able to recognize objects in the frame, as we can see here, the car. And now let's publish a topic to start streaming video. Video start, with the command start, topic published. And now we have video live. This was Data Viewer. I would love to show you more, but I don't have time for more.
So, João, when I stop here with our guests, I could ask a lot of questions because of the landscape here.
Yeah, like too many questions?
Well, a lot of them.
You know what that reminds me of?
Let's walk in town and get some urban landscape. Sounds good?
Okay.
What's this? This? This is Ordem do Carmo Church.
What's this?
This here? This is Fontes Leões, Leões Fountain.
And that one?
Oh, that one? That's the rectory of the university.
Huh. What's this?
This is Lelo Bookshop.
Oh, whoa. What is this?
Well, this is now the Portuguese Center of Photography, but it used to be a jail.
Oh. Okay. What in the world is this?
This is Torre dos Clérigos, or Clérigos Tower.
Huh.
Look.
No more. What's this?
What's this?
Oh, what's this? What's this? Whoa! What's all this?
Stop. Well, this is the typical day for a tour guide here in Porto, in which we have to answer questions about everything and anything. Well, João, this is Rua dos Caleireiros, Caleireiro Street.
Wow! You know what this reminds me of? My mom. When I was little, she answered all of my questions, including why, and why. Now let's see how we're using AI to handle all the questions.
Hi, so I'm here to talk about our feature, AI Agent, to talk with your data. Hi, there's something different about you. Okay. Where were we? Oh, talking with your data. We have here our AI assistant. Hello, Jarvis. What's happening with my factory? Yeah, not yet. Next year. Maybe. So, real talk. How can you talk with your data using Coreflux? So, we have here our AI assistant, not Jarvis, and we have some data, a lot of data, like you have in your project, and you want to know what is happening. You can look at your data, or you can just ask your assistant. So the first thing we're going to do is exactly that. Very general question, but a really full report of everything. It is saying the machine is active, is in the mid-cycle, producing automatically, everything is safe, and already giving us some production information. I'll ask him to calculate some KPIs. So, what is my OEE? Let's see if he can do some basic math. He calculated the availability, performance, quality, and we have a OEE, our final indicator. This is interesting, but now, I want this data every single day, calculated automatically. I can ask my agent to do that. I'll change from insight to agent. The difference is insights, it's only for asking stuff, and he won't change anything in the broker. Now that you want to build some automation with lots, I can change to the agent mode and then ask it to build an action for me. So I'll ask it, can you create a lot action to calculate the quality KPI automatically? I'm just talking with my assistant and he is doing all the heavy lifting for me. So he already built some lots, asking me to deploy. I accept, and the action will appear and start calculating everything without any more need for interactions by me. I can see a new KPI, and he is explaining how he calculated this information. From now on, I don't even need to ask Jarvis. It's already pre-calculated. Or when I ask Jarvis, he doesn't have to think very hard. The information is already here. So now you're thinking, Tiago, is this safe? How do you handle the data and the AI, the privacy and everything related? Let's look under the hood. What is happening here? If you go to your connections, you see a broker agent. I already configured everything before this demo, but the first time you enter the hub, you'll see a prompt for you to select what you want to do. You can use your own API key for OpenAI, for Anthropic, to use the latest models, or even, if you want, you can use Ollama for a local model to run on-prem and ensure that the data is closed in the same machine. Whatever you prefer, you can build it here. So safety first with your data. Do you have a arroz in your life that's always, what's this, what's this, what's that, what's this, what's everything? Maybe this part is for you. So for example, we built a templates starter kit where you can find our templates for your use cases, but instead of a traditional templates website, we built in an AI assistant where you can ask and talk about your use case and you'll find the best templates for you. For example, I want to monitor my solar panels. How can I do it? So he gave me two templates, one focusing on a route, connectivity, but a more general use case to monitor a solar inverter. But let's say you are already implementing, you want to add some nice features that are beyond these templates, and you want to know more. You go to our documentations website, our docs, but looking at docs sometimes is a bit annoying. We have here our AI assistant where you can add and ask any questions. And he'll look throughout all of the docs and find you the most relevant results and even adjust to your scenario. So you can quickly look, find the relevant pages, or just copy paste and build your own solution. Whatever you need, you have it here. What is that? What does Coreflux do? What is a lot action? Just ask the AI assistant. Let's do AI times AI and show you another neat feature that you have in Coreflux. You can create agents built in your automation. So let's say for the OEE example, how can I create an agent that sends me a report for my production data on my email every day? And here it can help build it for you or explain the concepts or just link you the correct page for you to build by yourself. Another scenario. I asked about my factory. But now, in my building in another company, remote in another city, I have some HVAC units. Someone has been complaining a bit about noise. I don't know if it is working okay. I want to know how are things doing in the other side of the country. What is happening with my UTA? And he look at my data and try to find information about it. He couldn't find the first time. He's asking me for help. So, I know information is here. I can have the information about the topic because I know a bit more about the system. And he'll look at everything inside, exactly like I would looking at the data and seeing its information. So he is discovering what is needed, and we have here a report. We have a problem on motor 2. Let's see maybe what is happening there. It says degraded, needing attention, and there's a problem with the bearings. So we have here a machine learning model that detects from vibration if everything's okay, and it is analyzing that data and saying caution, it needs to be replaced, and exactly where the problem is. But I want to check if it's still working or really it has stopped, and I want it to put it on a TV, not having to go here every time. So I'll quickly develop a dashboard, and by me, I'll say my intern, my assistant. I'll ask him to develop a dashboard for me to look at. Create me a dashboard where I can see the vibration data, the temperature, and the bearing health for the two machines. Now it's apart, it is taking a while. Okay, so he analyzed my request and is asking me to deploy it. I click here to deploy, and in a second I'll see the new dashboard to see if everything's okay, and yes, we can look at it. We have a new dashboard with the current information. All of this without needing to know Coreflux. Okay, I guess we're done. Next time it's your turn, Jarvis. Let's develop you.
So if you don't mind me asking, what is this?
Well, this is Sambient train station.
Oh, you know what that is?
We're gonna talk about it inside. Let's go. Wow! Well, welcome to Estação São Bento, or São Bento train station. This place was inaugurated in 1960, and inside of it, you can find roughly 20,000 tiles.
20,000?
Yes.
Did you count them yourself?
No, I didn't. But I can share something with you. Each one of these were painted individually. And just like a piece of a puzzle on their own, they represent nothing. But when you put them all together, they can tell you a story.
Well, you know what this reminds me of? Dashboards. Most factories have tons of data coming in from all sources, and you can only see one at a time, like PLCs, databases, APIs. Each one has their own screen. But Coreflux dashboards, it's like this room. You can see everything from just one point of view. And the right person to tell you more about this is in our studio. Hey, Leon!
Oh, nice. São Bento. Hey, I got another one. Let's talk about dashboards. At the end of the day, if you can see it, it's not happening. That's what most of our prospects and customers tell us. So Coreflux decided to include it in the hub for you to have everything that you need in one place. Let me show you how it works. So we are inside the hub, and the first thing that we need to do is to go and looking for our dashboards. I go inside and just need to find our bar and press, dashboards. Here they are. I already have two here just to show you. So we have Active Line 2 machine dashboard and an injector dashboard. These are simple dashboards that allow you to understand what's really happening in real time with your machines. However, let's see that you want to create a new one.
Let me just go grab some code and bring it inside to show you how you can create it using lot language. So I have the code. The only thing that I need to do is add a dashboard. Let's erase this part here and copy the code. It's done. And now what I'm gonna have is a third dashboard. Injecture 002 production dashboard. That will allow me to understand what's really happening in the injecture number 2 regarding our factory. For this, if I want to send this dashboard to someone in the factory floor, the only thing that I need to do is, well, press the URL and, well, it's sent. I can put it on a new TV, a new monitor, anything. If you want to do the same for the other ones, well, same process, same idea, same concept. So we have done the difficult part. We have created a dashboard using lot language. But let's say that you are still not able to create a dashboard using lots. Let's ask AI to do it for ourselves. You get inside of the hub, you go to our Coreflux AI. Remember, it's connected to a different AI tool inside of the broker. And let's ask him first, how is my factoring operating? And let's have a clear picture of what's really happening inside. And from this information, let's try to build a dashboard of what's really happening between each machine or even the full factory floor. Let's see how everything goes. So if I come to factory operations dashboard, I'm gonna be able to understand how everything is going. So I have injection number 1, 2, and 3, and even cycle times, pressure, good parts, and cycle trends. This is a very clear picture of what you can build using just Coreflux dashboards. It's still on working, we are still working and developing on it, but this is just the beginning. Let's see where the future takes us, and let's see how we can provide value to you in the long run and the long term. So now Coreflux gave you an answer. We already know what's really happening inside of the factory. Let's ask our AI agent now to create a dashboard using this information. With this, we'll have a clear picture of what's really happening, and you are not just guessing regarding information that's in a database or in any other tool that you are using in your stack. So now that we have our dashboard, I'm just gonna grab my things and put it on my TV.
Andrei, by this time you've probably realized that Coreflux is all about the data.
And at Taste Porto, we value data as part of the decision-making process as well.
So I've heard. I'd like to know more about that in the future. But let's just go through some data, some stats from our trip here this time.
Okay.
This is the 4th time we stop and drink.
Right, sounds perfect.
Yeah. We've made 6 episodes.
And we visited 6 places in town as well.
Right. And we've probably shown the whole Coreflux experience here.
But we have way more to show here in Porto.
Okay, I can drink to that.
I know, sir.
I know, so.
And you know what that reminds me of?
There's much more to discover at Coreflux. Again, Anos, thank you.